In this session we are going to learn about data types. So what type of data we are going to store, that is what a meaning of data type. So everything is a number, and if you understand this principle, then it is easy to understand any programming language. Everything is stored in a computer memory as in a bit format, that is ones and zeros. But not all number means same thing. Some numbers can be plain, some numbers can be other, or might be some letters, or others might be some location of data and computer memory. Types of number means how to interpret those numbers. It tells how the Java assign meaning to that ones and zeros in a memory. So while interpretation, it will specify the meaning of that number, and we can perform some operation with that type. So operation means what can we do with that type and how should it be done. Follow my Instagram ID to know more about programming. Okay, so let's understand this interpretation, how it works. So on the left we have conceptual representation of the program that we are working with. There is a box called X, and on your right hand side we have bit of memory, computer memory. The blue one is for your variable X, but what is does means, correct? So that blue ones and zeros, set of ones and zeros, it represent value of X. So just an example, the value of X is integer type, then this bit means it has value 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. If X is different type like your floating, so that it will be different meaning, that X is holding value, that floating type of value, it will be now 234.567, some floating point value is there. If X was something like string, then the bits will be the location in a computer memory of actual string object, which will have a sequence of character. So we can store like char or some boolean values in that X variable. So this is how your interpretation works. So this is how at a compile time the data types is declared the exact type of your data, what type of data is going to store in that particular location. Data types. So in Java we have two type of data types. So the first one is your primitive data types and another one is your object type, so that we are calling it as a non-primitive data type. If you are new to my channel, so subscribe my channel and like videos and share these videos with your friend and hit that bell icon to get notifications related to updates. So broadly we have different type of data types in primitive, like boolean, numeric and text. So in a numeric we have integer and floating point. So integer having subtype like short, int, long, and floating point which is having some decimal value which is float and double, and some text data like byte and character. But string is not a primitive data type, it is a non-primitive, it is a object type, or we can call it as a non-primitive data type. It is a set of character. And the another example of your non-primitive data type is array. So let's understand the difference between both. So in Java, primitive data type like byte, short, int, long, float, double, char, boolean, and non-primitive data types like string, shape, point, or any class you are writing yourself. Variable with primitive data types throw their value directly into the box, where your non-primitive data type is everything that is an object type. Some of form like string, other form like libraries, like your point or some resources, and other like classes that you created. Where you make a class, that class should be make is its own new type. Unlike primitive type is pointing to an object with the help of arrow, so that we are calling it as a reference. In a primitive data type we don't have method, so you can't do any dot methods call with your primitive data type. But in our non-primitive data type we have methods for the object, so we can invoke method on the object. It means we can use dot operator to access that particular method. Primitive data type is not null, it can't be null. It is having some default value, but non-primitive data type can be null. If you do double equals to this operator on your object, so it means it is checking that arrow are pointing to the same object or not. That is the meaning of this double equals to. So quickly we will go through with the example, programming example, how we can use this primitive data type in a program. Okay, so now we are going to create new class. So simply right click on your package, new, click on your class, and you can give any name. Okay, so right now I'm going to give it as data types demo. Okay, and just click on your finish. So in this we are going to write main method, main public static void main string args, and now we are going to create all data types. Okay, so that first one is byte, b equal to, I am giving some assigning some value which is 10, then I am creating another variable which is short s equal to 20, then int I equal to 30, long l equal to 40, but whenever I am giving any long format, so I need to give it as a L, so then it will consider as a long. Float f equal to 20.20, but this time it is giving me an error because whenever I am defining any decimal value I need to define it as a explicitly, which is float. Double d equal to 30.30, again it is giving me an error, so it will not give any error because internally it will cast that into the double format. Then char c equal to, in a single quote we need to define character. If you are trying to define character in a double quote, so it will give an error because double quote meaning it is a string of character, like set of characters, so you must define in a single quote only. And then your value, floating boolean value, which is flag equal to, you can write either true or false. Okay, and then we are just going to write, we are just going to print the values. Okay, byte value, and this is how we can concatenate our own message in a Java. Okay, so just simply copy this for n number of times. So simply change the values quickly, short int long, and I am going to change their values as well. Okay, I for your int, long for your l for your long, then float f double it's t, and your byte, not byte, char is your c, and the last one boolean which is my flag. Okay, now run your program. Simply click on run and run. Yeah, it is giving me the output: byte value, byte, short, long, this is int long, then your float, double, char, and your boolean value. Okay, and now we will learn how to define your non-primitive data type, which is array. So whenever I want to define any array, so the array must be a specific data type. So it just an example, it is int. Okay, and then you can give array name, int array, this is just a name, and in a square bracket it will define that this is a single dimensional array, one dimensional array, and then you can assign your array values. Okay, so like 10, 20, 30, 40. So the similar way you can define your character array, char array. Okay, and if I don't want to assign any value, so we can do another way is with the help of new keyword, new, and then the data type of your array, which is char, and again in a square bracket you need to define a size, that is 5. Okay, so by whenever you don't want to define your variable values of that particular array, so you can use the size of that array, and then you can later on you can set the values like char array of index 0 equal to a. The similar way you can write all the values. Okay, so I'll just make some room over here. Yeah, so index 1, which is B, index 2, which is C. The similar way you can write it down till your size is 5. Okay, and let's understand how to create an object of this class. Okay, so whatever the class name is there, simply we can create our own object with the help of that class name, data type dot demo, whatever the object name you want to give. So my class equal to new operator and the same your class name, data types demo. So it will create an object for me, that is type of my own class. And if I want to create object class, the object of your parent object class, so I can use object o equal to new object. Okay, so by default it will create an object for me, that is class of your object, that is a parent class of your all the class. Okay, so run this program now. Simply click on your run this button. Yeah, I need to save it, I forget to save, so don't forget to save your program. Okay, so it is not giving me any output right now because that array is created, but I need to iterate that array to print all these values. So I can use for loop or some while loop or something else. So we are going to look into that. Okay, programming constructs. But this is how we can define our own object, or this is the way we can define our own array.